Today, I want to speak to all the women who carry strength deep inside, but sometimes feel like the weight of the world is resting on them. You are strong not because you raise your voice, but because you've learned when it's wiser to stay quiet. Not because you fight every battle, but because you understand which battles are truly worth your energy. But here's the truth that every strong woman must come to terms with. Life won't always applaud your strength. It won't always give you the recognition you deserve. You will love with all your heart and still be misunderstood. You will stand in your truth and still be asked to step back. You will give your best and still face doubt. So today, we're not here to talk about how to become strong. You already are. We are here to reflect on what every strong woman needs to accept about life so you don't carry burdens that aren't yours or waste your precious energy on things you can't control. Life isn't a puzzle to solve, but a reality to be embraced. Let's take a journey today through stories, reflections, and wisdom, and uncover the simple truths that can free you from false expectations and let you shine with calm, with confidence, and with quiet strength. There will be times in your life when you stand up for yourself, take a new direction, or remain calm when things get tense. And instead of being praised, you may be judged. You might choose silence instead of arguments, patience instead of rage, and compassion instead of revenge. Not because you are weak, but because you've grown. Yet strangely, people may see this as doing nothing. Some might ask, why didn't you speak louder? Or why didn't you push back more? And you'll feel that doubt creep in, wondering if you did the right thing. But deep down, you know this. Real strength isn't always loud. Sometimes the deepest strength is found in your calm. Think about it. If someone throws a rock into a calm lake, it splashes, then ripples spread, and slowly the water becomes peaceful again. But if the water reacts too wildly, it never finds stillness. A strong woman is like that still lake. She knows when to speak and when it's wiser to wait. And that quiet, that calm, is a choice. It's a power that many people won't understand because the world often connects strength with sound. Let's look at a daily example. A mother who works full-time. She gets up early, prepares breakfast, sends her kids to school, rushes to her job, meets deadlines, deals with workplace stress, returns home, helps with schoolwork, cooks dinner, and keeps the emotional balance of her whole family. She doesn't talk much about all she does. She doesn't ask for thanks or recognition for her emotional strength or time management. But does that make her less strong, or does it show how powerful she really is? Most people will never truly see the patience, the self-control, the drive it takes to do this every single day. And yet she continues not to be noticed, but because that's her role and her purpose. Now think about a woman who decides to leave a harmful relationship. She doesn't cause a scene. She doesn't post details online. She just quietly chooses peace, chooses herself, chooses her own value. And still people talk. They say she gave up too quickly. But they don't know the night she cried alone, the times she forgave too much, the moments she doubted herself just to hold on to someone who didn't treat her right. That silent exit wasn't failure. It was bravery. We live in a world that often lifts up those who are loud. If you're loud, people notice. If you speak out often, they call it confidence. But confidence isn't always in the noise. Sometimes it's the woman who listens when others talk, who chooses calm over drama, who doesn't try to prove anything to those who've already made up their minds. One of the hardest things to accept as a strong woman is this: not everyone is going to be okay with the version of you that no longer seeks approval. When you grow, let go and stop needing to be liked. You stop acting. And when you stop acting, some will call you distant, proud, or even cold. But you're not being any of those things. You're just protecting your space. You've learned it's okay if not everyone claps when you win. It's okay if not everyone notices your progress. You're no longer living for applause. You're living from a deeper place. Let me remind you of something gentle but powerful. A tree doesn't stop growing just because no one's watching. It keeps growing silently, steadily, deeply. And one day, when it's tall and gives shade, people gather around it in wonder. Your strength is just like that tree. It doesn't have to announce itself. It only needs to keep growing. So, yes, not everyone will get your strength. Some will see your quiet as weakness. Some will question your limits, your peace, your silence, and that's okay. You don't need to explain why you chose calm over noise. You don't owe anyone a reason for walking away, choosing rest, or stepping back from constant giving. The truth is, a strong woman knows that being misunderstood is part of being true to herself. Your job isn't to convince others of your power. Your job is to live it softly, quietly, consistently. Because true strength doesn't chase praise. It simply exists. There comes a point in every strong woman's life where she starts to feel distant from the people she once felt so close to. The talks don't feel the same. The laughter feels different. The closeness that once felt natural now feels a little forced. And for a while, she blames herself. Am I changing too much? Why do I feel apart from them? Is it something I'm doing? But with time, she begins to see clearly. This isn't betrayal. This is transformation. This is growth. Growth doesn't always come with big signs. It comes quietly. When you start reading new ideas, asking better questions, looking for peace, and choosing deeper connections instead of shallow approval. And as this growth happens, you naturally let go of things that no longer feel right. Not because you're better than others, but because it's necessary for your well-being. Think about a butterfly. Before it flies, it must leave its cocoon. It can't carry the shell it used to need. That shell once protected it, but now it would only hold it back. The same goes for people in our lives. Some were part of your past, part of your comfort zone, but not all of them are meant to grow with you. Take another simple example. A woman starts focusing on her mental health. She avoids gossip. She stops explaining herself so much. She starts therapy. She builds routines. She becomes more aware of her habits, her emotions, her triggers. But now the friends who once filled her weekends say she's too serious, too distant, too unavailable. What they don't realize is that she's not pulling away from them. She's pulling closer to herself, to her healing, her peace, her path. This kind of change feels lonely at first. Growth often does. It pulls you into new spaces where you don't yet feel fully at home, where people don't quite understand you. But the reward of staying true to your path is far greater than the comfort of shrinking yourself to fit into old spaces. Growing beyond people isn't pride, it's alignment. You're not walking away because you think you're above them. You're walking away because your direction has changed. You no longer want to bond through complaints. You no longer want to waste time proving yourself. You want peace. You want truth. And not everyone is ready for that. Sometimes the ones you care for the most won't understand your growth. A childhood friend who feels left behind. A relative who says, "You're different now." And they're right, you are. But different doesn't mean disloyal. It means you are finally being honest with who you're becoming. There's a sad but powerful truth in knowing that love doesn't always mean closeness. That some people were meant to teach you not to stay forever. That walking away doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you aware. Aware that staying connected to what no longer supports you is another way of slowly letting yourself go. You're allowed to care for people and still move on. You're allowed to be thankful for what you shared and still say the chapter is over. You're allowed to say, "This no longer feels right," even if it once meant everything to you. Growing apart from people is one of the hardest parts of evolving. It takes strength, kindness, and courage. But it also makes space for new people who fit the woman you are becoming, not the woman you used to be. And when those new connections arrive, people who truly see you, who honor your boundaries, who respect your growth, you'll understand that you weren't losing something. You were creating space for something better. So if you're in that season right now where old friendships feel uncomfortable, where conversations no longer feed your soul, where you feel a quiet guilt for walking away from the familiar, remember this: you're not wrong for growing. You're not selfish for choosing what feels right. You're not unkind for putting yourself first. You're simply becoming the person you were always meant to be. And in that becoming, some will remain, some will move on, and soon, new souls will show up carrying the same energy as your truth. Don't be afraid to let go. Trust the way things unfold, because your growth isn't something to fear, it's your rebirth. Any relationship that can't grow alongside you was never meant to trap your wings in the first place. She's too much. How many times has a strong woman heard those words? Too loud, too bold, too emotional, too passionate, too independent, too driven, too everything. And every time those words are spoken, even in a joke or wrapped in laughter, they hit something deep. Because they don't just describe how she is. They quietly suggest that something about her is wrong. From a young age, many girls are taught to hold back, to sit quietly with legs crossed, to speak softly, to say sorry before sharing their thoughts, to not take up too much room. So when a woman stands up and challenges those silent expectations, when she dares to take up space, to use her voice, to say no when things feel off, she's suddenly seen as too much. But have you ever stopped to ask, what if her too much is exactly what the world needs more of? Think about the woman who stands firm with her boundaries. She won't tolerate being disrespected. She says what she feels, and she stands by her words. Some might say she's too strict. But maybe they've just never met someone who values herself enough not to bend just to be accepted. Maybe they've never witnessed someone protect her own worth so fiercely. Then there's the woman who speaks with passion about her values. Her voice rises. Her eyes shine. She doesn't soften the truth to make it more comfortable. And suddenly, she's called too aggressive, too much, too intense. But would people say the same thing if it were a man? Or is it simply that the world isn't quite ready for a woman who refuses to stay quiet? What about the woman who loves deeply? Not halfway, not carefully, but with her whole heart. She's the one who checks in. She remembers the little things. She sends voice messages when she misses you. She notices when your smile looks tired and asks, "Are you really okay?" And then she hears it. You're too emotional, too sensitive, as if deep care is something to be ashamed of, as if her big heart is too much for others to handle. And let's not forget the dreamers, the women who say, "I want to build something amazing. I want to travel the world. I want to start my own company. I want to live life by my own rules." What do they get in return, Lauder? Warnings. People saying, "Be more practical. Don't dream too big. What if it doesn't work out?" But she's not afraid of risk. She knows shrinking her dreams just to fit into the mold would be the real loss. She's not too much. She's full of light, full of courage, full of purpose. She laughs without holding back because she's known pain and still chooses joy. She dances without shame because she has broken through the walls that tried to hold her in. She loves boldly because she knows how it feels to be invisible, and she refuses to let others feel that same loneliness. But the world isn't always ready for fullness. It's unsure about intensity. It prefers women to be gentle, calm, soft-spoken. So when a woman shows up fully herself, without apologies, the labels begin. But here's the truth. If she's too much for some, maybe it just means she's not meant for small places. She's not here to water herself down to make others feel secure. She's not here to quiet herself so others can feel louder. She's not here to become less so others can feel more. We see this play out every day. In workspaces where a woman shares a bold idea and is told later it came off as too strong. In relationships where she's asked to tone it down, be quieter, be less. In families where her confidence is mistaken for defiance. Still, she keeps going. Not because it's easy, but because being real means more than being accepted. She's not difficult to love. She just needs someone who isn't scared of how deep her heart runs. She's not hard to deal with. She just values honesty over pretending. She's not too much. She's exactly enough for the real world, real love, and real transformation. To every woman who's ever heard she's too much, believe this. The world needs you just the way you are. Don't let other people's discomfort dim your light. Don't let their fear of your strength make you doubt yourself. You weren't made to fit inside someone else's boundaries. You were made to push them, to light them up, to wake them up. So let them say you're too much. And let that be the proof that you're not playing small, because your too much might be the exact spark another woman is waiting for to fully become herself. We live in a world that often places a woman's worth inside her relationship status. Married, dating, engaged. With children, it's as though your entire identity becomes a title. Single, taken, divorced, widowed. And when you don't match what society expects, they try to make you feel like something's off. But here's the truth: your value was never meant to depend on someone else being in your life. From the beginning, girls are told to dream of weddings. Fairy tales say your life begins when someone chooses you. Movies repeat it over and over, that joy begins when someone shows up and makes you whole. But what if real wholeness begins when you finally meet yourself? What if the deepest connection is between your purpose and your soul? All around the world are women who are unmarried, not because they have no choice, but because they made one. They're growing businesses, exploring the world, following their passions, giving back and finding peace. And yet every time they go home, they hear, "When will you settle down?" As if all their progress, joy, and independence don't count until there's a ring on their finger. But here's the thing: settling down should never mean settling for less. Your path matters, with or without a partner. Imagine a woman in her 30s, living on her own, excelling in her job, happy in her quiet time. She eats alone, attends events alone, treats herself on birthdays, and books her own vacations. She's built a life she loves. But at family gatherings, she hears the same thing. Still single. Nobody asks if she feels fulfilled. No one wonders what book changed her mind this month, or what goal she's working toward. Because in the eyes of the world, her success isn't counted unless she's sharing it with someone. But they don't see that she is sharing it with herself, with her community, with those she leads, with the world she's building. Being in a relationship isn't a prize. Being single isn't a punishment. These are life phases. They don't define who you are. Let's break the myth that a woman without a partner is incomplete. You are not half of anything. You are whole. Your peace, your energy, your beauty, your wisdom, they do not depend on anyone claiming you. You were born complete. You always have been. Being single doesn't mean you're missing something. And being with someone doesn't always mean you're fulfilled. The goal isn't just to find someone, it's to find yourself. To know your value so clearly, to be rooted in your truth so deeply, that you're never tempted to settle for less just because time is ticking. Time isn't running out. Life isn't rushing you. The right connection won't pressure you. It'll come when your spirit is ready, not when society says it should. While you wait, or even if you never do, live fully. Love who you are. Travel, read, rest, heal, rise. Because the kind of love you look for in someone else is often the love you're meant to first give to yourself. Remember this. A powerful woman doesn't wait for someone to choose her. She chooses herself daily. She claps for herself on her good days and holds her own hand through the tough ones. She isn't defined by who's standing beside her. She is defined by the fire in her heart. She doesn't wait for anyone to confirm her value. She lives it proudly. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not missing anything. Your life is happening exactly as it should. Whether this season includes a partner or not, whether today's chapter is about solitude or connection, you are already enough. Not because someone tells you, but because you always have been. And when you really know that, your energy shifts. You stop chasing love. You start drawing it in. The kind that honors who you are, matches your growth, and never asks you to be smaller. So step into your world with your head high. Wear your singleness like a crown, not like it's something to hide. Let your life shine with joy, purpose, and real presence. You don't need a relationship title to show your worth. You already matter. You already glow. You already belong. You already deserve love, respect, support, and connection. You already carry strength. You already have a voice. You already have power to lead, to grow, to be. There's a common belief that being kind means always saying yes, always being there, always pushing yourself past your limit to meet everyone's needs. Especially for women, being kind is often confused with giving up their own needs, like their worth depends on how much they do for others, even if it hurts them. But that's not real kindness. That's being drained. That's being exhausted behind a forced smile. True kindness doesn't ask you to give up your personal boundaries. It doesn't mean pushing aside your own needs or pretending you're fine when you're not. Genuine kindness begins with respecting yourself. And sometimes the kindest thing you can do for you and for others is to say no. Not with harshness, not with pride, but with calmness, confidence, and care. Picture this. A woman is known by her friends and family as the one who always says yes. She's always there, always helping, always fixing things. She never turns anyone down, even when she's already overwhelmed. People praise her for always showing up. They call her dependable, generous, and selfless. But inside, she's tired. Her smile feels heavy. Her evenings are filled with quiet anger. One day, she realizes she's giving from a place that's already empty. Her kindness has become something everyone takes, but no one gives back. So she chooses to set a limit. The next time someone asks for something she really can't handle, she says, "I'm really sorry. I can't help this time." Not because she's uncaring, but because she's finally learning to care for herself too. And just like that, the compliments stop. People say she's different now, and they're right. She is. She's no longer mixing up kindness with pleasing everyone. That moment, her gentle, honest no, is a turning point. You can make choices like this in your own life. They show up in everyday situations. Saying no to extra work because you need to rest. Saying no to a friend who only reaches out when they need something. Saying no to events that leave you feeling drained. Saying no to staying quiet just to avoid conflict. These aren't rejections. They are signs of self-respect, awareness, and strength. And you need to remember this. Saying no doesn't make you rude. It doesn't make you selfish. It makes you clear. It shows you know your limits. It shows you care about your mental and emotional health enough not to push past your breaking point, just to make others feel comfortable. Society teaches us that a good woman always gives and never complains. But a strong woman knows the truth. Kindness without clear limits only leads to being used. Love without caring for yourself leads to emptiness. Service without breaks cannot last. There's a beautiful example often shared in wise communities. Think of yourself as a cup. What you share with others should come from the overflow, not from what's meant to keep you going. Your first duty is to keep your own cup full. Then, when you give, it comes from joy, not pressure. You can be kind and still say no with grace. You can politely turn down an invite. Thank you for thinking of me, but I won't be able to make it. You can set limits without shame. I'd love to help, but I only have limited time today. You can truly love someone and still walk away if they don't treat you with respect. That's kindness to them and yourself. Not everyone will understand this kind of kindness. They may say you're distant or cold, but really you're growing. You're becoming someone who gives out of fullness, not guilt. You understand that your time, energy, and love are precious, not endless. Saying no doesn't mean closing off. It means choosing wisely how and when to say yes. It means being aware of who deserves to be in your space. It means making sure your kindness is coming from a real, honest place, not fear. Fear of judgment, fear of being disliked, fear of not being enough. But you are enough, not because you always say yes, not because you wear yourself out for others. You are enough just as you are, and your peace matters as much as the peace you give to others. So next time you feel unsure and your body tightens because you want to say no but feel guilty, pause. Take a breath. Remind yourself you can still be kind and say no. You can be gentle and firm. You can be caring and strong. Because real kindness doesn't mean giving everything away. It means giving in a way that honors both you and the people around you. And when you live with that balance, your kindness becomes more powerful, more lasting, and more respected, not just by others, but by you. Pain is one of life's deepest teachers. It almost never shows up gently. It often enters through heartbreak, letdowns, betrayals, loss, and setbacks. Sometimes it comes quietly, sometimes like a storm, but always bringing something you need to learn. For a strong woman, pain is not the end. It's the start of something more meaningful. It's the moment she doesn't just recover, she transforms. We're raised in a world that tells women to be strong by pretending. Don't cry, just move on. Be confident. Keep smiling like nothing hurts. So many women go through life with invisible wounds, all hidden behind perfect smiles. But the truth is, hiding your pain doesn't make you powerful. It just makes you suffer alone. Real strength begins when you stop hiding your hurt and start owning it. Think about a woman who ends a long, painful marriage. Everyone sees her going to work, keeping things together. But no one sees the nights when she sits alone, feeling lost, replaying every memory. People call her strong, but she feels broken inside. At first, she tries to stay busy, to pretend nothing's wrong. But eventually, she breaks, softly, quietly. And in that breaking, she finds something surprising: clarity. She starts writing, meditating, asking herself, what do I want now? What matters to me? The pain that once felt like it would swallow her starts to show her a new path. A clearer, freer life. When you face pain with honesty and bravery, it becomes your power. Think of the lotus flower. It only blooms from deep, muddy water. Without the dirt, without the darkness, without the pressure below the surface, it would never rise. You are the same. The heartbreak that made you doubt your worth, the failure that shook your self-belief, the loss that left a hole in your heart, none of it was for nothing. That was the mud where your strength was born. Pain shows up in small, everyday moments too. A friend who pulls away, a job you don't get, a dream that didn't happen the way you hoped. These moments can become powerful lessons if you stop pretending they didn't affect you and let yourself feel. The world doesn't need more women who are good at hiding pain. The world needs women who say, yes, I was hurt. I'm still healing, but I'm still standing. That honesty isn't weakness. It's strength. It's leadership. It's what helps others feel less alone. There's something special that happens when you stop running from your pain and begin to accept it. You become softer in ways that matter. You start to listen more deeply. You judge less. You treat yourself more gently. You stop chasing perfection and start learning to be whole. Being powerful doesn't mean you never cry. It means you know how to wipe your tears and keep moving. It means understanding that healing doesn't go in a straight line. Some days you feel better. Some days you feel stuck again. But you're always growing. You're always changing. You don't need to wear your pain like a medal. But don't bury it like it never happened. Let it live in your story. Let it shape your choices. Let it grow your compassion. Let it be the reason you rise with more purpose, more love, more truth. A powerful woman doesn't run from pain. She turns it into something new. She turns rejection into direction. She turns heartbreak into a more open heart. She turns failure into focus. She turns wounds into deep wisdom. So if you're feeling pain today, don't push it away. Sit with it. Write about it. Pray. Talk to someone you trust. Let the pain speak, not to break you, but to teach you. One day, you'll look back and realize the thing you thought would destroy you actually rebuilt you. You are not broken because you've been hurt. You are becoming. You are rising from old pieces of yourself. You are becoming stronger, more tender, and wiser than before. And the world needs this version of you. Not the one who hides the pain, but the one who shines through it. This is your strength. Not in pretending nothing hurts, but in showing that even when life tried to silence you, you chose to rise anyway. You chose to live, to love, and to speak with even more power than before.